Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions. Thank you for bringing your holy light to join us today. We're really blessed to be together in truth. The light of divine being. To talk to Jesus. That's our only function, is to listen and speak to Jesus and then follow him. That he's leading us home, to show us that we've never left home. Like, it's not possible to leave home, but through that addiction to consciousness, addiction to pretending like something on the screen happens and then we respond to it. See that in the light of divine being, infinite light, we can all see this. We're love itself. We just forget, through a desire to forget, pretend like we're not infinite. Yet light is natural to us. We're the light itself. No place else to go other than light. Thankfully, we can't get it wrong. But the ego used, I can't get it wrong, to stretch out a timeline. To say, the ego used, you can't get it wrong, to say, I'm always right. When it really means, it's like hidden under there, da da da, I can keep a timeline. I can see how it just becomes more and more valuable, because when we're in the play of identity, we're not valuing infinite light of being. We're valuing a big fat no to infinite light of being. I see we have 2 translation assistants going there. Are they like sitting on a mountain or something? Oh, it's so good to see all of you. You know, you see how you need the mighties, the constellation of beings, like he brings to you. Like sometimes you want to like get rid of them and toss them out. But that's what Jesus is trying to show us, where we're rejecting our brother. Because wherever we reject our brother, we're rejecting the God within. Because our brother's not apart from us, he's in us. That's what the ego doesn't want to see. It's trying to keep the little fiefdom of nothingness going. So we just keep asking Jesus and thanking him for teaching us patience, really, because the ego's not patience. I want this now. What need would an infinite being that has everything need to try to get something now? It has everything. We are everything, infinite light. So now it becomes the wash up of just washing out of all the desires for something other than infinite light. So we thank him for these lessons. See how much attentiveness it really takes. I ask him, does it take attentiveness? We can all hear him. Because we've been inattentive, like you said, mind wandering into the desert, to play in the desert, look at the sand, and then complain, where's the water? Jesus, why haven't you given me any water? And he's just saying, come out of the desert. As he says, the only thing to do with the desert is to leave it. It's not till he shows us how we've conditioned ourselves to pretend like something on the screen is real, and then we have to react to it. And then the play of consciousness is to get so wound up in the moving, everything that moves. Oh, this is happening. No, this is happening. This is happening to me. No, that's going to happen. No, I'm going to be taken over. I'm going to be taken down by the coronavirus. Not without your consent. Not without our consent. Nothing happens without our consent. No experience arises without our consent. We're infinite being. You can ask Jesus. Let's just ask him, Jesus, is anything appearing without my consent? Oh, it's humbling, but it's happy humbling to see that divine power. I always ask him. I ask him during the day, I'll be looking, I'm making this up. And go, yep. I'm making this up. Yep. Did I choose this water glass? Yes. It's helpful to constantly be reminded, okay, this is a choice. It's a choice. Let's see that the light doesn't hold anything. It doesn't have a little pocket in there where it's keeping all the grievances against the Son of God. It's saying, no, you're one with me. And as soon as you quit pretending otherwise, you'll find that you're holy, whole, and complete. So then the argument starts. That's all it is. It's just an argument of why we're not holy, whole, and complete. It's like a but Jesus. But Jesus. And you'll catch it too. You see how you're starting to try to negotiate with God. Let me just keep a little tiny bit of, as I've talked about, it's like going down the pier and there's the invitation to remember everything that we are on a boat right there. It's getting ready to take off and sail into God's holy sunset. But we go, you start to step on the boat and it's like, no, I don't know, I'm not really sure about this. And as the boat starts moving, you got 1 foot on the pier, 1 foot in the boat. It's not going to end well. I mean, it's not a permanent situation, but it is a required course. He says it's a required. Only the time you take. So Jesus, show us how we can save time. That's his only function, is to show us that we're beyond time. The light, infinite light of being. One thought of joy, just staying with the thought of joy. Is that helpful, Jesus? He says, yes. I said, Jesus, we don't have to, there's nothing else to do except the thought of joy. Actually, the doing is the problem, that we have to do something rather than be everything, what we are right now. Okay, Jesus, go ahead now. Show me, will you show us where we need miracles today? What miracles to perform? We admit you're in control of the atonement, the happiness that comes from that. It's really stepping aside from the idea we have. Just let them guide everything. So just turning everything over. Lesson 92. Miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. Okay. In the light of truth. The only way to see miracles is in the light of truth. Infinite light of being. A miracle is ceasing to deny, really. Because the light, infinite light of being, can we look in the light as the light? There are no words for it. We are light. The rest of it's just a denial. That's what's here. Skip the boot. Then you can ask him. This is kind of fun. Let's just have fun with Jesus. That's all. He's just inviting us to start a conversation. Here's a fireside chat. Every morning we start with the fireplace right there at the center to just be reminded it's just a little fireside chat. Instead of sitting down and listening to that fireside chat when Roosevelt came on and said 1941, he starts talking about, we got to go to war. We're going to sit down with Jesus and have a talk about how we're going to be at peace. So he comes and he sits down and we just sit down with him. And then we start the conversation and just ask him questions. And because we're infinite light of being, the only purpose of the light circles, well, they're for me to listen and clear out any denials that of being able to hear Jesus and speak Jesus, because it's not for anyone. It's for infinite love of everything and everyone. It's the celebration of everyone, everything. And that listening to that voice and speaking that voice is our function, because that's our voice. And that's all that we do in these sessions is practice. Okay, Jesus, I want to really hear you in a whole new way on these the course lessons. Like I've just never read a single course lesson, not one. Because the ego likes to collect the course lessons. That's really the purpose of a new covenant. He's saying, yes, I want you to live and see that every single thing in this course is true by direct experience. That's the only message, your love. And I'm going to help you. And here's specifically how. Here's specifically, you can have fireside chats with me and ask me anything. What a beautiful message that is. That's like, so it's alive. So you can see that this course lives. This course is given for the purposes, and it is possible that there is no other place to go than to divine being, to see that we're divine being. There just isn't a choice not to be divine being. You can't choose it. You can ask them right now. So we just listen. Okay, Jesus, do I have a choice not to be infinite? You can hear him. No. Do I have a choice not to be infinite light? Jesus, do I like to pretend like I can choose not to be infinite light? Do I like that, to pretend like that, to dream that I'm not the light? You can ask them and I'll tell you, yep. Okay. So then, because of the desire to have a choice experience, we start with the light, what we are, infinite light of being, to see, one, the light doesn't need any miracles because it's what is, all that's given by the Father. Where the miracles are needed because of the addiction to playing consciousness games. I'm going to play in consciousness the dream. I like to play in the dream, like I can be hurt and I can be attacked. Miracles. So now we can ask them, just, Jesus, will you show me directly how miracles are seen in light? Miracles are really unstoppable. It's just the pretend factor. It's the pretend that all is not given right now and not wanting to see that all is given. So then we create a log jam. The miscreation is hold down the expressions of love that are miracles that wash out any idea that the light isn't here. So now, okay, Jesus, let's just look at this directly so we can experience, because he says all we have to do is get one lesson fully. So let's just ask him, will you show me how light and strength are one? He says, look as the light. See if there's any lack of strength in there. Is there any lack of power in infinite light? And we can, because that's our birthright. Before we were born, actually. There's light. Let there be light. And the light and the darkness shall not overcome it. The darkness, see if darkness can do one little shred of something to that light. This is what he's pointing. Just notice this. Notice how you feel as you're contemplating infinite light. Just notice. Is it a strain just to contemplate infinite light? The more we contemplate infinite light, that's the spaciousness for revelatory experience. The revelation is that light is all there is, that light is synonymous with love, the infinite love, the same. For here, it's been helpful just to focus on light because of the conceptual idea of love. The conceptual idea within the ego's thought system that love moves horizontally between beings. if you do something, then I'll feel. It's an if then, or I feel love because when this happens, I will, it's always love in the future. It's always love that's got a condition, a conditional love. And notice that infinite light has no conditions. There aren't conditions in infinite light. And then ask Jesus, okay, so is light, this infinite light that can't be seen with the eyes, is that love? Is that the same? This is just a conversation to have. And then we have the contrast between infinite light, where miracles are seen in the light of truth. Any thought, feeling, or emotion freely placed in that light, see if it survives. That's the miracle. Can't survive there. Any emotion placed in the infinite light, see how long it lasts. And the speed of the correction. The correction is just the washing away of the untrue. We may wash away the untrue. It never changes the truth. The light is come. The light's here. We can pretend. We can hold up a protest sign to God. Light's still here. Get on a plane, fly to Australia, get off the plane. Look, is the light still here? It just goes everywhere. And we're sitting on the floor like a 2-year-old going, like my brother when he was about 2 and he pounded his head on the floor. We never figured out what that was. But he was really, really cute and innocent, right? And for some reason, the idea arose that pounding your head, boom, boom. It's like, oh, how can you be doing that? Hitting your head, your little sweet little head on the floor. That's what Jesus is saying to us. No, I'm not infinite. No. And light or strength are one. It's a different kind of strength. See, the ego likes that tight power. I'm going to control everything. The infinite power doesn't do anything just to be what it is. The ego exercises non-existent power. It just dreams it. It dreams power and control, and I'm going to be in control of this. And then we was just talking to Jesus, and he was reminding me, but we've been watching these different movies that have been depicting how we like to move the characters around on the board and try to get a character to move and do something or be irritated by a character. And I was just recalling, it's just reminding me how when I don't know how or why there've been so many cooking assignments, cooking and cooking and cooking. I guess that needed to be the washout. He says, yes. It's so helpful when he tells you everything. So, and I would notice I'd have to forgive. Oh, I just forgave this and forgive this and forgive this. Because if I went into a kitchen, I would be I could just feel the irritation if even somebody else is in there cooking with me. It's like, don't get within my territory in the kitchen. Don't, this is my, I'm cooking now, that kind of thing. And that's how it is. You start to notice that, probably already notice it because we're all been forgiven for quite forgiving and forgiving. But any kind of energy like that, where it's perception that something's happening and a little irritation arises, that's just really ripe to bring it to the light. He says your happiness relies on this. The idea for today is an extension of the previous one. You do not think of light in terms of strength and darkness in terms of weakness. Jesus, do I have a desire to try and experience darkness as strength? See, we start laughing here because when we hear yes, then we know. See, we can laugh because we know that Jesus is going to help us through it, that we do want to experience darkness as strength, being strong. That's why we hang out there. Jesus, do I have any desire for an experience of darkness to try to get to heaven? He says, yes. It's like, okay, forgiveness opportunity. Do I believe that darkness is the path to heaven, Jesus? And then you go with him until he says, no, you don't. If he says yes, just have the fireside chat. Okay, and obviously there's something I need to see here. It becomes there's no histrionics in it. You know, the ego's histrionics and I'm going to die and this is really horrible and I feel terrorized and I feel fear. This little fireside chat thing that he's given now is just a fireside chat. And Twitch, speak to Jesus. Twitch, pull up a chair at the fireside. Twitch, call a brother. Well, first it's like, Jesus, what's most helpful right now? And he may call a brother. Okay, which brother? When do you want me to call? Those questions will reduce the time. It'll save time. And then following, of course, and not when the ego starts, Jesus says, okay, Jesus, when do you want me to call? Then he'll go, how about this afternoon? That's the extension. So it's timing. When do you want this? When do you feel this is most helpful, Jesus? What specifically? He's reminding me, it's just the admission that we need help. It's the humble admission, not the grumble. I gotta go to, No, it's like that genuine, sincere, okay, I need help. Because if we go into things like, well, all right, I got to go to that kind of thing, that never works because we've already made a decision that we can't be helped. And you can hear it too. You can just hear it in consciousness, not to judge it. But that kind of want complaint mode. Call a ambulance, as they say. The kid goes, call a wambulance. I don't know how Daria's going to translate that. A wambulance. So there's the wambulance tone, and then there's the sincere, really, okay, I'm really ready to see this. I want to know. We have to learn to distinguish those things where we're whining. Like there's really a pissed off, I'm willing to see, yes, Jesus, I'm willing to see, it's, no, you're not. No, the decision's already made because the tightness is there. Do you see? It's like, all right, we have to start distinguishing that little play in consciousness where there's tension. We're pretending like we want to see, but no. It really has to be like little children, like zero. That the dialogue will be so open then. It's like, all right, go ahead, give it to me, sort of thing. And just give me all of it. And then, boy, that light's going to move right in. It's going to take residency. It can't take residency when we have this kind of begrudging ourselves. Because that begrudging, oh, look. There's no spaciousness in that for him to speak. We had a beautiful session yesterday. Thank the beings who were able to come on talking to Jesus. And what prevents it? That right there. Like it's kind of grudging. We have just little children, and you can, and with him, when you were little and maybe 2 and you're asking your mom, why is the moon purple right now? And you could ask her maybe 5 different questions. By the 6th one, she's ready to jump off a bridge. Jesus is never like that. He patiently will answer. But you have to, again, it's be like little children. Like, I just don't know anything. Okay, I'm going to ask you from scratch every time. And when we go to him like not knowing, and admitting, I do not know my best interests. I'm asking about that because that's what he's saying. He said, when you're coming with that kind of like, you really don't want to give it up, and then you're mad because you don't feel like you can hear Jesus. Well, that little cranky energy is the attempt to block his voice. You know, underneath it, you don't want to see. The you, the I, the play of consciousness is trying, it's an avoidance. So it really has to be, I want to see. Okay, without any idea. That's willingness. Willingness is like, is whistle clean, because he can help us. So, you know, show us where our unwillingness is if we're willing. And that's what he's doing in the light circles. And in the chapter 20, where he, you know, takes you in the catacomb and you go, am I ready for a miracle? And he tells you no, because he knows you don't want one. He knows we don't want it. But if there's innocence in it too, like you'll see that play in consciousness. Oh, he's reminding me, you know what that little energy is, you know, where I'll look, it's judging the judging. It's judging the judging. It's that little extra layer. They're laughing because we see it. See, with the little children, they're just, you know, I don't know. I don't know anything. I want to know why the moon is blue. And we know there's not a good answer for that. Atmospheric conditions. That is because your idea of what seeing means is tied up with the body and its eyes and brain. Oh boy, is this true? You know, it's amazing. Just a thought of a brain. How many of us get a picture in the mind will pop up of what a brain looks like, you know, with all the little, forget what you call it. See, just amnesia, but all the little way, you know, the little shape of the brain and the little caverns and everything, and it's pink. You just notice it, it'll pop, the picture will pop in the mind. That it actually does something. You can ask them, Jesus, the brain do anything? Does the brain actually do anything? And just hear the no. Thus you believe that you can change what you see by putting bits of glass before your eyes. I just asked him, so that's misuse of creative power? Yes. He says, but don't be concerned about it unless I tell you to look. See, that's the thing. If I tell you to look at it, then look at it, because he's in control of the miracles. Do I need a miracle around wearing glasses right now? He's saying no. So he's in control. So it's not our function to go out and look at everybody wearing glasses and judge them, because we're making it real. He's given that talk last night. It makes it real. Just say, okay, Jesus, I'm noticing you're saying right here, I'm putting little bits of glass before my eyes. This is really helpful. When the time comes, will you help me with that? Yes. It may just naturally fall away, because you'll see it's not the eyes he's focusing on. He's focusing on spiritual sight, the recognition of infinite, which does not depend on eyes whatsoever, because it becomes a parlor trick too. I'm going to fix my eyesight. I can have clearer vision. No, that gets you more involved in the dream. I'm asking him to be clear on it. He says, yes, it gets you more involved in the dream. So we let him see. That would be the consciousness deciding, I need a miracle of having perfect vision out of my eyes. Falls. He says, no, he's saying, no, you don't. You need perfect vision to recognize that you're infinite light of being now. That you don't need to fix your eyesight to see. But you can look at to see with me that it's a play in consciousness, that it's a concept that suddenly you're looking out in the world and you put a pair of glasses on, you can see better. Cause and effect, he says, yes. But he's got to control when and the timing for any kind of body function. Otherwise, we're not giving over the body to him. This is among the many magical beliefs that come from conviction you're a body and the body's eyes can see. Magic. Again, I'm asking him again because I'm willing to look at that. If it's not of value now, then he tells you, no, that's not what to focus on right now. Then you just follow him. You also believe the body's brain can think. If you but understood the nature of thought, you could but laugh at this insane idea. Jesus, do I desire an experience of feeling like the brain thinks? It is as if you thought you held the match that lights the sun and gives it all its warmth, or that you held the world within your hand securely bound until you let it go. Yet this is no more foolish than to believe the body's eyes can see, the brain can think. It is God's strength in you that is the light in which you see, as is his mind. Jesus, will you show me any desire to deny this? That God is my strength? We see how powerful it is when we look directly at the denial with him. And the one he shows us to look at. That's how he tells us which miracles perform. Look at this. What do I look at? That's where that question, what's most helpful for healing the mind, comes from. We're asking him, what is helpful to heal the mind right now? Is it you're suggesting a action that seems to come from a body, or is it inward looking? And he's just constantly then guiding us. His strength denies your weakness. It is your weakness that sees through the body's eyes, peering out in darkness to behold the likeness of itself, the small, the weak, the sickly, and the dying, those in need, helpless and afraid, the sad, the poor, the starving, and the joyless. Boy, one thought out that when we look out and perceive that there's no happiness, it's not because happiness is not out there. It's because it's a misperception that there's no happiness whatsoever, and then it's projected on all the objects around us. That is really deep. One thought that unhappiness actually exists out there, it's making unhappiness real. Happiness is identity. You can ask Jesus, happiness, it's what we are. Unhappiness is the dream that denies what we are. So the only way it can occur is to sort of pin the tail on the donkey, making it out there. And we're blindfolded. You know how that game is played? Pin the tail on the donkey. There's a little donkey picture. It's put on the wall. And you put a little eye covering bandana over your eyes. And you hold on to the donkey's tail. And you spin around, and then try to put that tail on the donkey. That's what the ego's doing. It never finds where to put things never line up. It's a fun game for a while. He says you'll always feel limited then. It's seek and do not find. It is your weakness that sees through the body's eyes, peering out in darkness to behold the likeness of itself, small, the weak, the sickly. So as he says many times, it's just helpful to remember. And I appreciate the reminder, Jesus, that whatever we look upon is the concept that we've miscreated of ourselves. Whenever it comes out of our mouth about a brother, he is like this. Boom, 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 boom. That's a belief about ourselves. Unless it's given specifically by Jesus, because he knows the whole picture. That way, whatever comes out of the mouth is whole and complete. It is of the Father in service to his Son. See, and there's no judgment in it either. It's just in total service to all. Strength overlooks these things by seeing past experiences, past appearances. See how easily? Strength overlooks these things by seeing past appearances. Death uses past experiences, past appearances. It keeps its steady gaze upon the light that lies beyond them. It unites with light of which it is part. It sees itself. It brings the light in which yourself appears. In darkness, you perceive a self that is not there. Strength is the truth about you. Weakness is an idol falsely worshipped and adored, that strength may be dispelled, and darkness rule where God appointed that there should be light. Jesus, do I relish weakness, being weak? Is there any relishing of that left? Do I relish the darkness, playing in the field of darkness? And it's okay to admit it. See, if we admit it, that's honesty of God. When you hear it from him, he's got to tell us. Because before that, we're just going, I want the light. I don't know why I'm not seeing the light. It's because in the catacombs, there's still value being placed on darkness. Do I value darkness? Can you show me any areas where I'm valuing it? Can you show me where I believe heaven can be found through darkness? And then we just look with them. Strength comes from truth and shines with light its source has given it. Weakness reflects the darkness of its maker. It is sick and looks on sickness, which is like itself. Truth is a savior and can only will for happiness and peace for everyone. It gives its strength to everyone who asks in limitless supply. He'll give us as much help as we ask for. Remember when he says you ask for too little? The ego goes, why am I not asking for more cars and planes and boats when you ask for too little? I don't ask for enough. No, you ask to see what's true. Anything other than that is asking too little. I'm just checking in to make sure that, yeah. Ask to see who you are. Ask to be shown a different way. By not consistently asking to be shown a different way, we're asking for too little. You know, we're asking, okay, Jesus, do I get to go, shopping for a new shirt? That's our idea of asking for God. What color car do I get? None of that's bad. He might help you. He might even, like he did with Helen, he'll go out and pick out a really nice coat, better than she could, and bring her right to it. Because the Spirit understands that there's a term called no ripping of symbols that's used in Living Miracles. I don't know that I've seen it in the Course. Meaning spirit just doesn't wipe everything off the board. It understands how consciousness is used to being in that play. Or David Hoffmeister taking one of the messengers out because he knew that she liked dresses. And so the spirit still gives these things, helping Helen with the code. And it's not trying to sweep out everything. It's just trying to say, see right now what's true. You're far beyond the dress or the coat. You're infinite light being. Truth is a savior. That's really beautiful. Your identity is the savior of the world. You are truth. That's identity. Truth isn't an adjective. See, we think truth. Here's the truth right here. This is true. This is false. You know, this, I go to court and I tell the truth. Anything other than honesty of God is untrue. Anything other than admitting I'm denying divine light, that's untrue. Until we see the truth truth is not changeable. Truth doesn't come from one being saying this and another saying that. Truth is infinite truth, infinite light of truth. It's consistent. It doesn't change like the wind blowing to another truth. It's true is true. You are light. That's period. Truth. And in the meantime, until that's admitted that we're light, then Jesus says, okay, here's honesty of God. Admit that you don't want truth and you don't want light. Then that's truth. That's admitting the truth. Until even that falls away. And then there's just all there is light. It gives us strength to everyone who asks in limitless supply. That's why he's saying you don't ask for enough. Ask to know the truth. Anything, I'm just asking, anything other than that is really has a limit on it. He understands that probably. That's like Song of Prayer. I think we're going to do Song of Prayer. That feels really good, one of these night sessions. So we can really learn what true asking is. Ask to be shown the truth. That's what we don't do enough of. That's when we're asking too little. It sees that lack in anyone would be lack in all, and it gives its light that all may see and benefit as one. Its strength is shared, that it may bring all the miracle to all the miracle in which they will unite in purpose and forgiveness and in love. Weakness, which looks on darkness, cannot see a purpose in forgiveness and in love. It sees all others different from itself and nothing in the world that it would share. It judges and condemns, but does not love. That's the horse trading. I'll give you a little if you give me a little, which is giving ourselves very little. That's asking for too little, that kind of horse trading relationship. It sees all others different from itself and nothing in the world that it would share. Objects cannot be shared. This is, you know, we teach our kids, okay, share your toys. That's not shareable. The only thing that's shared is light, truly. It's sameness. The only thing that can share it is all given by the Father, which is sameness, infinite light. In darkness, it remains to hide itself and dreams that it is strong and conquering, a victor over limitations that glow in darkness to enormous size. But glow in darkness to enormous size. Dreams that it is strong and conquering. Jesus Do I relish a dream where I feel like I'm being conquered or conquering others or strong, powerful, take them down, take those people down? He says that's the only way it can happen is if you dream it. And he said, and he's telling me, and then nothing's happening at all. So you have this little fiefdom and you think you're really strong and powerful in it. And as he's saying, he's reminding me, the mind's blank. It's just trying to blot out the light. So it goes blank. It's desiring an experience of death. It fears and it attacks and it hates itself, and darkness cover everything it sees, leaving its dreams as fearful itself. And I remember I had gone to Canada to be in community, and here's how the doubt thoughts play, because after a while I was going, my God, I really hate myself. I've never remember hating myself this much. Well, it was bringing to a point, it was in purpose, but then a doubt thought came from the steward. We were in an expression session and she says, you don't hate yourself. So that was a doubt thought, not to look deeply to see that that's the play in consciousness, that self-hatred. It takes that self-hatred to keep the dream going. And it takes a while before we have the discernment to see the game and to go, okay, there's self-hatred, what's below it? See, hatred is always a cover over to what's under it. It's always a cover over to see where the desire is for the experience of hatred. But even under that, there's more. You can ask Jesus. I hear yes. It's trying to hide from looking directly, because what happens is, if you notice with hatred or with fear, all the focus and consciousness goes, it feels like it's stuck. It's like being in flypaper. Bing, I'm caught in fear, because it's relish. So it goes into a fear loop. But even that won't last. You can sit in that loop for a while, and then eventually you forget that you were in the fear loop, because it goes subconscious again. I'll wait for another time when there's something truth to be seen, and that rises up. So this is the light training. He's saying, see that you're upset. You're not at peace. Fear would be in the category of not being at peace. And what we do is we focus on the fear. Oh my God, this is happening. I understand that play. Oh my God, I'm feeling so angry right now. But see with him that below that, there's really it's like a little power plant. It's a little power plant generating that. That's all he's trying to bring us down and saying, where's that coming from? It's sourceless. It's very powerful. We were looking at that yesterday and following the fear and go, what's the source? Let's get curious. Instead of getting involved in it and pretending like we don't have any power over it or any power, just go, oh, this is fascinating. Whatever's arising, and just go, tell me about this, Jesus. Just tell me, and just ignore the and just go, well, what are you saying I look at here? You can ask Jesus, do I need to get involved in the and he's not going to say yes. He's going to say no. Look with me. Look down at the power. He's going to go, come look, and how you relish that experience. That's why it appears for you, because in the subconscious mind, you're really wanting that. And you're loving every minute of it. Not a true love, but just relishing, kind of wanting it. If you've ever had like an urge where you had to go, it's like a pregnant woman, got to have pickles. And she's going to go find those pickles, no matter, she's going to mow over. I don't remember what it was my sister wanted one time, she's pregnant. I've got to have whatever it is. And she was gone. Like I looked and she just disappeared to go find whatever it is, and came back and like rolling her eyes in the head. It might've been pickles at that time. She just like, I got to go now. I got to go get them. And then she sat there and, ate the whole thing, whatever that was. I think it was pickles, but that's how it is. I got to have it. And you'll start to notice these energies are, I want it. You'll just feel the wanting. That's what he's teaching us, to like be present with it so it releases. It fears and attacks and hates itself. The darkness covers everything it sees, leaving the dreams as fearful as itself. That's all we're doing in this fireside chat, is just questioning, is this true? No miracles are here, but only hate. It separates itself from what it sees, while light and strength perceive themselves as one. The light of strength is not the light you see. It does not change and flicker and go out. It does not shift from day to day and back to darkness till the morning comes again. And that's really a common experience. It's a very common experience that it seems like the light comes and goes. The light can't come and go. So just keep checking in with the light and see, is the light here? Did it go somewhere? So we stay with what's constant. Light is constant, not these kind of movements and changes and pretty pictures. No one can ask in vain to share its light, and none who enters its abode can leave without a miracle before his eyes and strength and light abiding in his heart. The strength in you will offer you the light and guide your seeing, so you will not dwell on idle shadows that the body's eyes provide for self-deception. Strength and light unite in you, and where they meet, yourself stands ready to embrace you as its own. Just rest as light. Just stay here a while, he says. Just stay with me. To rest with as the light is to rest with Jesus. Such is the meeting place we try today to find and rest in, for the peace of God is where yourself, his son, is waiting now to meet itself again and be as one. Let us give 20 minutes twice today to join this meeting. Here's joining, the word join again. Join in the light. You can call it that. You are the light. You can join as the light. The joining is merely come to me to see what is already joined. That's all joining is. It's coming together to see in the light of truth that we are already joined with each other. That's why the ego avoids that sucker like the plague. Oh, I don't want to get together with my brother, you know, because it knows the power is in the joining. Let yourself be brought into yourself. Its strength will be the light in which the gift of sight is given you. Leave then the dark a little while today, and we will practice seeing in the light, closing the body's eyes and asking truth to show us how to find the meeting place of self and little self and capital self, where light and strength are one. Jesus is the light and the strength within me one. You'll get a love cuddle on that. Yes. Direct experience, he's saying. See that it's your direct experience in the light of divine being, the strength that's there. It's a different kind of strength. It's limitless strength. It's peaceful strength. It's the lion that lays down with the lamb of innocence strength. Thank you for this reminder, Jesus. Morning and evening, we will practice thus. After the morning meeting, we will use the day in preparation for the time at night when we will meet again in trust. Aw. Let us repeat as often as we can the idea for today and recognize that we are being introduced to sight and led away from darkness to the light where only miracles can be perceived. There really isn't anything more valuable than this course for all of us. And being together in truth, just nothing more valuable. For here, that's all I can say. It's because it's love and because Jesus has fulfilled every promise that he's made. You know, beings would talk about it, you know, this is going to happen or this, and to see and just see it. We need to see it, to see the time and space rearrangements and the constellation of brothers and the devotion and hearing your brother speak Jesus and be so tuned in to that voice with each other. It's just, it's like almost impossible to express that gift. Thank you, Jesus, for this holy purpose together, and look so deeply at these lessons, fresh and new and with no ideas. Like little children, we sit together on our little tricycles, paddling up to heaven in that innocence. So I'd like to see, I don't know if we had a chance to ask Lori if she had a thought about any. She's willing. She gave me the W. Here's the willing sign. And so she's willing to come sing for us. Oh my God, so much love in that. I love that willingness signal. You know, so rather than put our pitchforks in the dirt, we go, Jesus, we're in. Okay, Lori.
The lyrics are on. I sent the lyrics to you, Mary.
Oh, and they're going to send the lyrics.
Spanish too. There's English and Spanish.
Okay, and where are they going to put them on the messenger group? Yeah. Okay, and okay, so we have a Facebook Messenger group. Mickey, do you want us to try to add you to that? You're welcome to be part of it. See if you can find Mickey Kursgaard so that we can add her. That messengers group is for those that want to join with partners or hear about, you know, when we're getting together and our movie sessions, and it's beautiful. Oh my God, it's so many miracles in there. You know, we could just put the camera right there. And we do get to do a little different picture over here. Yeah. And then this table can go over. Can the microphone sit on this, or it's too low?
Use the basket. It's higher.
Oh, there on the basket. There we go. Is that okay? Or you want this?
That's probably better.
Okay, there we go. We'll move over there and she can sit over there on the mystical purple couch.
Just wondering if I saw that.
Oh, lean that on. Okay. Okay, she's gonna go get a very impromptu, spontaneous. Okay, then we'll put it over there. You see another part. She's got the light behind her, that's for sure. She's gonna go get her little music stand. There we go. You can see some of the. She's gonna rock our world.
Yeah. Maybe the microphone can go on that.
We'll try and get set up. I think we'll just start having her over there. There we go.
Thanks for staying in the cuddle with us. And this is the Light Brigade Choir here on this side. Present, check. And I asked Jesus which song for this morning. And I noticed that almost everybody has either black or blue on, or a dark color. So Azul Bebe, Baby Blue came to mind. So thank you, Jesus. And this is a song when we feel, and I don't feel it like as much as I felt it when I sang it the other day, of not wanting miracles. Like I feel like that's kind of releasing, but it's still a song I feel Jesus gave when we feel like we just don't want his perfect correction. We just don't want it. No way, no how, buckwheat. We don't want it. So this is the soothing balm song for that, and a reminder to love ourselves through. And the first line of this, I just want to share. One morning, we have the sunrise in our window, and a big bird was waiting at the window, and that's the first line of this song. So that's what sparked this song, that bird. So let's have fun with this one, loving ourselves through. On a friend, hold me now, help me now, cuddle my heart, tangled up in the blue of miscreation. Cuddle my heart, tangled up in the blue of miscreation. Hold me now, help me now. Cuddle my heart, tangled up in the blue of miscreation. Whoa. rocket ship. Stay with it. Keep looking. Keep joining.
Okay, rock our worlds. And were we able to get Mickey joined with us?
I friended her.
Good. Okay, you got friended, Mickey. So just
Mary.
Mary Wallace will friend you, and then we'll jump. You can jump joins with us. Thank you for coming. We send you love.